What a weekend that has been, and that will end with the running of the meeting at Turffontein. It is on the stand side track where we have a couple of features to look forward to, 9 races in total. We are going to be focusing on the bipot, which is race number 2, but of course, bipot. Profit or not, from Saturday, you still need to have access to that voucher. Go to your convenience store if it was a bad day and top up that account. Sunday could just be payback time as far as replenishing the stocks as the funds go. Race number 2, the first leg of the bipod, and it is a great pleasure to be able to sit in the revered company of Mr. Marie once again. Daryl, a very good morning to you. It is a Friday morning recording for a Sunday. It is Sunday racing at Turffontein. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad. I can see you had a very good Thursday at Turffontein.
Even a blind pigeon comes across some breadcrumbs on against us.
I said to Craig, your horse, the canter pass. I've never been swept away by a horse cantering down to the start. And he said, even a blind. I said, that's why I said, even me. That's what I meant. But let's talk about race 2. And yesterday we got a form update. The 2, Dylan's Champ over the longer trip of 1,600 meters, was drawn 12 out of 14, finished third. Just did enough for the PA's third, 1.5 lengths behind. What is an impressive debut from a de Kock first-timer. Immediate edge, just priced up as favorite at 22-10. Sean Terry's number 8, Green Street 5-2, 3-1, and a better bar those. Well, the Hong Kong form line, Mr. Marie, we saw franked yet again by Gabera yesterday after Green Sapphire made it back-to-back victories, but Green Street was 13th, 10 lengths behind on that occasion.
Yeah, she came out slowly on that occasion with O'Sheen, and she was never in contention. That form line's living up to expectations. I had a look at her breeding. Her dam won twice over a mile. So she should enjoy being stepped up in trip. Obviously, the dangers over here, I don't know if Dylan's Champ's going to stand his ground. We need to take note of car changes on
Sunday morning,
on race day. For that reason, I haven't bankered him because I've gone with all of numbers 2, 5, 6, and 8. Now, give me a Storm and Great Notion. There's absolutely nothing separating the two of them. Take note that the blinkers are being removed on Great Notion, and because she's going over ground once again, and she tends to overrace with them. So that will help her in, or assist her in relaxing in running. Give me a Storm number 5. The dam also won over a mile, so she should appreciate being upped in trip. So for that reason, I have played the safe route. I've gone all of numbers 2, 5, 6, and 8. Like I say, take note if Dylan's Champ is going to line up or not.
All right, 2, 5, 6, and 8, and then there is a banker in the ensuing leg 2. That is number 1, a Roaming Spirit, also out of that Hong Kong form line, and a banker in a leg number 4, and that is the 2. Off time to race number 2, 12:35. All right, it is moving on to race number 3 on a Sunday afternoon. We'll be on the stand side track at Turffontein at 13:10 is the off time to race 3. This is a maiden plate, and that'll be over the 1,400 meters, leg 1 of the PA. Well, if you're just waking up, shaking off the cobwebs from Saturday, you need to get involved in the PA at least. You don't want to go to the shops, or you've got a shop nearby. Go and get that voucher and get up and running in the racing on Sunday. That is loading your account. That is your Betway account with the funds courtesy of that voucher you purchased. Now, Mr. Marie, race number 3. We've spoken on that Hong Kong form line, and I think it would be a travesty if Roaming Spirit was to go missing. Has done everything but win a third, second, and a third. I think Sunday should be the day.
Yeah, I think her price is fairly generous at 9-10. Just ahead of her in her last start was Green Sapphire, won twice. And then behind her was Gerbera, who won on Thursday. Now, Gerbera beat a filly called Cheerio Baby, right? On Thursday. Now, yes. Roaming Spirit beat Gerbera.
Yeah.
And beat Cheerio Baby. Gerbera beat Cheerio Baby.
Yeah.
So, on a line through Gerbera, I mean, Roaming Spirit should really hold Cape Saffron because Cape Saffron was beaten by Cheerio Baby. And I think Cape Saffron's looking for further. It was a lovely debut, don't get me wrong. She was staying on startly, but I think she's looking for further. So I expect this favourite to harden in the market. I make the danger, number 9, Trail Runner. little bit skeptical with regards to that form line, but what I do want to say is I watched the market closely on this occasion, and she found a lot of outside support. She was even backed into the region of 61, and there was substantial trade on her on the exchanges. So I think she ran below expectation. I don't think that form line's anywhere near as Hong Kong, hence me saying Roaming Spirit is the right one and is value, if you can say that, at odds on.
Okay, so that is race number 3. That is the start of the PA Bank of the One. And of course, watch out for Trail Runner. Although a horse is coming out of that form line, yesterday's did not get franked. I'm talking about the likes of horses that ran behind a Flight of a Condor, I think came out of that form line as well. But the one should take the power of beating. All right, in about 6 days' time, we'll be talking about the Triple Crown and Triple Tiara getting underway. It just seems like yesterday when we were saluting Give Me Another and the likes of Sandringham Summit winning the Guineas, well, it is here again. 1st of February, and race number 4 is in honor of the first leg of the Triple Crown and Triple Tiara. Gauteng Guineas Day, 1 February, middle stakes over the 1400 meters. Don't forget, it is the start of the Pick Six, and if you've already invested heavily in your bipod and your PAs, top up once again with that voucher, and you should be up and running within seconds of keying in that pin on your Betway app. Right, race number 4, 1400 meters a trip, and it is race number 4, where we see a very, very competitive event. Kimrick, I think some would say, is worthy to be right up there, but the favorite is the 7 Calantha, who seems set to enjoy the 1400 meters, having gone up to 1200 meters. The 3 Truth, maybe the life is restored to Truth after that gelding, but our expert is the man who will really tell us what to expect.
I'll make this a very competitive race. I never tipped a Pick Success because I would have had to go field in this race and field at the back, and it was too costly. Well, you don't have to go field. I think Star Coin is one that you can possibly leave out. Yeah, Truth interests me. You know, if you have a look at the best weighted column, Calantha comes up trumps. She's the filly. She's a kilogram best in ahead of Fire and Flames, and the Africa House was recently scratched for this race in mind. Now, Calantha, so first run around the bend, she's been stepped up in trip. She now goes 1400. I think that's going to suit her because she's finishing her races off nicely. And I think she's going to love it. Her dam won over a mile. So let's see how she goes. She does take on some nice sorts of, especially being boys. So she's a filly, but I can see her winning. Simrick's in good form. Truth, second run after rest, a mile in the soft. I think that caught him out. It looked like he was going to challenge for leading honours and just faded away tamely towards the end. Comes back to 1400. Firmer ground. Cherry ripe now. I'd possibly say he's my number 1 pick. But you can make a case for a lot of the others over here. Fire and Flames is well in over here despite carrying 60 kilograms. Don't ignore Richard the First chances. Don't ignore Playboy Bomber. But what I'm suggesting over here is a place on the outsider in the pack. And that's the one right at the bottom of the boards. Number 9, Tintamare. Now he's having his peak run. I think he got a little bit stuck in the mid in his second run after rest. I thought that was below par for him. He's better than that. In his penultimate start, returning from a lengthy layoff, he actually found interference in the latter stages. Now he's got racing fitness on his side. Nathan Click from Stallgate number 1. Won't read too much into his rating. I know he's out at the weights, but it's plummeted in 2 starts from a 93 to an 84. All I'm saying is I believe he'll run expect better than his current odds of 25 to 1. I'm having a place bet at around 4 to 1. Let's hope he can sneak into the money.
Yes, indeed, a good suggestion that Nathan Klink rode at penultimate run when running behind the Confederate, and Confederate later got beaten by a horse that had run third to it, and that is the Lucky Utalakis Charge winning the Grand Heritage Consolation race. So very good form line to Tamari. Listen to what the man said at around 20 to 1. All right, so now we get into the jackpots. The first of two jackpots that starts in a race and number 5. This is a merit at 80. It's over the 11 at 60. And don't forget, it is a 9-race program, so that will mean that the second jackpot starts immediately on to race number 6, which will be our first of our listed features on the afternoon. Well, it is, of course, finally getting out of those maidens a few meetings back. And since then has followed up with that win. As was suggested, maybe that maiden win was what was needed, because they'd been an odds-on favourite and a favourite in many races, and finally got it right. 13-10. One Secret Chord, 17-10, sevens and better. They renew rivalries with Secret Chord, do two Vibe SA and Secret Chord, and obviously the latter is worse off by 3 kgs.
Yes, and that should be enough for him to reverse the form with Vibe SA. Insane, it's Vibe SA, the pennies dropped. I think they've worked hard to ride him, to get the best out of him now. And that's give him a chance in the early stages, produce him late, and Gavin's capable of doing just that. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see him pull off the hat-trick. A few runs back, I would have been very surprised if you told me that. But you know what? He's got his confidence up now, and it's the right lineup for him to be very competitive. You touched on the fact that Secret Chord's 3 kgs better off with him. That must bring him into the contention of year for leading honours. Watched his race last time out because I fancied his chances. He was off the bits a long way from home, but he was rattling very late on that occasion. In a small field, let's hope he can stay in contention and give the favourite a run for his money. I've tipped a jackpot over here. I haven't banked Vibe SA. I've even included number 3, Longsword, who put in a dismal effort last time out. I'm hoping it was due to the condition of the track. You can see it was posted soft or yielding. Don't know about that, but he's had 5 runs in the soft and he's yet to run a place. So I'm willing to excuse him for that below par effort. Ryan Manga's riding with a lot of confidence. I think he should be thereabouts when the chips are down. So yes, playing the safe route, I'm looking for a little bit of a result in the jackpot, but you could see my PR did bank a Vibe SA.
Vibe SA, that is Santa Claus number 2. One Secret Chord, of course, looking to that second win from 3 outings. And when it did win 2 runs back, our man Mr. Marie was also aboard the Secret Chord. Didn't win without his money. That's the first leg of the jackpot, off at 14.20. All right, so we get into that second jackpot that starts with our first listed event, and this is the 4 Racing Spook Express Stakes over the 2,400 meters. That should be off at 14.55. So do get those jackpots on by 14.55. A competitive start to jackpot 2 with that feature, and the favorite is the 2 United Council, as short as 19-20. Next best is the resurgent number 1, My Soulmate, at 4-1. Also at 4-1 is the number 3, Explosive Bond. The 7th one is the 7, Demover, 10s and better bar those. Are you in the corner of the informer Robbie Sage trained 2 United Council in the colors of Mr. Colin Bird? Or what do you believe? I actually spoke to Ray after that last run in the Jacaranda, and Ray felt the horse needed further, and this could just be it.
Well, saying that, she ran second in the Oaks a year ago, over 24.50. Oh, no, not a year ago, a couple of months ago.
No, that's why I say this has just come up on us again, huh?
Yes, so she does stay. You know, we tipped her last time out. My Soulmate, she gave us a run for her money at 25-1. She was closing in the latter stages, and now she goes the extra. So have a look at the best weighted column. She's well in over here. She's actually a half a kilogram best in. So I expect her to fight out the finish. United Council could be her biggest danger. I mean, I don't think she deserves to be quite as short in the market as what she is. Let me just have a look. She's 9.5 to 10. I don't know if she's quite that hard to beat, but her latest victory over the course and distance, she was running away from One Religion. I don't think One Religion quite gets the 1.5 miles. But it was an impressive win nonetheless. Gavin gets a good tune out of her. Yeah, she's in good form. But I'm not totally ignoring a filly that's finished well behind her in that race, and that's Explosive Bond. I know she can't reverse the form. I think she's only a kilogram better off for 7 odd lengths. So on paper, she's well held. But the way I read this race is that Moosey's got an opportunity to dictate it up front. And if they allow him to do that, I think he will close the deficit on United Council. I'm tipping them in that order. I'm going 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. That is the double. That is leg one of the double. Also, the first leg of the jackpot. You could use those three numbers for that first leg of jackpot too. By 3, 6, and 7, that will be number 3, Tani Player, the 6, Radicchio, and the 7, Storm Brasco. Race number 7 is our second listed feature. It is in honor of the late great Dr. Richard Maponya. It's the 4 Racing Dr. Richard Maponya handicap. It's over the 1800 meters, off at 3:30, with the last chance to get involved in that last pick 3 on the afternoon, Sunday afternoon. And in the betting, you've got a Silent War, who seems to be rediscovering some of the old glory at 15-4. Radicchio, the 6, going over the 18 at 4-1, 9-2, the 7. Storm Brasco, 5-1, the 1. Son of Raj and 7. Better is the rest of that betting. If memory serves me right, the Richard Maponya handicap used to be the Drum Star.
Okay.
I do believe it was renamed last year. I speak under correction, but I think it was the Drum Star.
You met the doctor?
Doctor was a neighbor and a good friend of my late uncle. There's a shop that is now renamed, rebranded, but they still refer to it as Kwamaponya, and yet it's now a big chain. Yeah, he was a bit larger than life character in more ways than one.
Yeah,
but likely to be spokesman for him tomorrow on Sunday. Do you know who that will be?
Nico. Oh, Nico's
no.
in
Michael. Well, he'll be calling
Michael.
Yes.
Yeah. So, congrats to Manu Pandaram. I mean, Thani Player, I wish him everything of the best with his training career. Thani Player, you can just put a line through his last start completely. He came out slow. He was a good couple of lengths behind the second last place horse, Red Maple. Looped the field, challenged a long way home, and then just emptied out. I see the blinkers do come off, which is interesting because he often languishes at the back of the field. He fails to muster any speed. So it's going to be interesting. But what I do want to say is, if he's in contention, he will be a factor. I like his chances. Silent War. Now, on paper, he holds Storm Brasco, but you know they're stepping up to 1800. I've got my reservations of this distance for Silent War, and I believe Storm Brasco will appreciate more than Silent War. So I'm going to say, listen, nothing's for certain, but I prefer Storm Brasco, and I think he's going to reverse that form. Another horse that fails to hold his position is Storm Brasco. Muzi needs to keep him interested. He doesn't want to be turning for home out of his ground like what happened last time out. He's having his peak run. He's obviously overcome his issues. He's in a good space. And I think with 52, if he's in a striking position, he will go very close. I've also included Radicchio, number 6. I mean, what can we say about him? He's in cracking form. I thought he was going to be in trouble because it was a great ride by Gavin on the run-up. He intimidated him somewhat. But towards the end, he got the better of him and he was running away. Ryan Munger, 52. He's a miler, this horse. He should be right there at the finish. So yes, I've gone with 3, 6, and 7. If you want to add in others, you could look at possibly numbers 4 and 5.
Still, I thought I'd get mention of a certain favorite of all yours, but not today. Master Christmas is not given a mention whatsoever. Obviously, there is valid reasons, but that is 3, 6, and 7 in that first leg of the last step. All right, just to set the record straight, race number 7 is the first leg of the last pick 3. You still have a chance to get involved in the last double. That was just a double suggested for races 7 and 8 in the preceding race. Races 8 and 9 form late or form the last double. It is a medal stakes over the 1600 meters. Is race 8 off at 4:05. And here we've got a runner that is so overdue to come through and win a very good run in the consolation, the Grand Heritage Consolation. And that was at 33-10 with the Bar and Borders train number 7, Care Forgot. Number 5, a Captain of the Green, is at 4-1. 5-1 is the 3, Slinky Mapimpi. 6s and a Better Bar those. Well, it must be said that the program on Sunday looks a very good program. Starts off quietly, but I think we're picking up into some very good racing.
Yeah, some decent sorts of
Yes.
Best weighted favors the Ferris X in order 2, 7, 1, 3, 9. Now, Care forgot. We saw her form line being franked yesterday
Yes.
with Queen of Love.
Yeah.
Very hard to fault a filly that's on the upgrade like this. So 52 to shoulder, well weighted. She's had her 2 runs on the high felt. Hard to ignore chances. Number 1, Mary's Green Light. She was off the track for a couple of months, and I think she came back and surprised connections, because I'm sure they were of the opinion that she's nowhere near her best. And then last time out, that race wasn't run to suit. If you recall, they went very slow and they sprinted for home. And the horse even that was best in Muzieni rode it. What was it?
That is Royal Victory.
Nate Cotton's horse.
Royal Victory.
Royal Victory. Flashed home late. This filly, or is she a mare? This filly never got into contention. So I'm expecting her to go very close now that she's having her peak run. Have a look at Player. Now, wasn't a great run last time out, and it concerns me with this reported breathing noises or respiratory noises. That is a concern for me. When I see that, I'd like to see the tongue tie fitted, but it hasn't been declared yet. What I'm saying in his penultimate starts behind Captain of the Green, he ran second, beaten 2 3/4 of a length. He's 6.5 kilograms better off. On paper, you have to take his chances seriously. He's not the most consistent, but on his day, he is capable player. So I've opted to tip an exacta box in this race. I've got numbers 1, 6, 7, and 9.
1, 6, 7, and 9, and of course the player should remember what the breathing problems seem to get in the way of. Could be a good weekend for Mr. Gary Player, because he's part of a horse that the whole nation seems to be on, and that is a double Grand Slam on a Saturday at Hollywood Bets at Kenilworth. That is race number 8, and that is the exacta box, 1, 6, 7, and 9.